Hey guys, Preacher 357 here, out here on the range with a gun that I did a review of last year, the Keltec P15. And in that review, I actually liked this gun quite a bit, and I was quite surprised at that. There were a few little hiccups that it had. There were a couple of times that the slide locked back when the gun wasn't empty. Not sure if I caused that or what, so I was curious about that. And then there was one instance where the slide lock, the cross pin, came out while I was shooting, but that was using a magazine that didn't come with this gun. It was actually a Sky magazine. I was just testing to see if it would fit, because I knew some of the Keltecs and the Skies basically had the same magazine. So I was just testing that out, testing a theory, and had a malfunction, in that situation. So I wasn't too concerned about that, since it was, not the correct magazine. But afterwards I thought, well, I need to get around at some point to doing a 1,000-round review, because I like the gun a lot. But the question I still had in my mind was, are there going to be any issues with the gun? Is it going to be reliable? Is it going to be a gun that is a good gun for long term? Just because it shoots well, initially, when it gets a little bit of wear on it, what's going to happen? So I finally got around to doing this 1,000-round review. And the gun was running really well. I was enjoying it. I was shooting it, and it was running flawlessly about halfway through. I got about halfway through the test, and then I started having a few issues. I documented some of that, so let's just take a look at the problems I was having. Hey guys, Preacher 357 here. I'm out here on the range, and I've been working on doing a 1,000-round review on the Keltec P15, the 9mm, specifically the metal frame one that I picked up last year. And I was kind of curious to see how it would run. And I'm about halfway through the 1,000 rounds, which I probably put more than that on there because I didn't count the rounds from last year. But since I've been doing this 1,000-round review, I put about 500 rounds through it. And unfortunately, it appears that the Keltec is dead at the moment. It's not working. All right, here we go. Here's the slide stop here. You can see where it is. I pull it as far back as I can pull it. The slide stop is still it's not far enough back to engage. There's something preventing it from going back. And I'm not a weak man. I'm not going to say I'm nearly as strong as I used to be. I'm in my 50s now, so I'm, losing a little bit of my strength. I'm not the man I once was, but if I can't pull with all my might and get that slide stop to engage, there's something going on there. And what happened was I was shooting it basically turned into a single shot. I was having to tap the back of the slide every time to make it go and feed another round. And then it got one time where it wouldn't do anything, and I ended up having to bang it against the table to get it to go forward. And I like to never got it apart. I like to never got it back together. So I'm hoping that it's just it just doesn't want to run when it's dirty. Hey guys, all right, I'm in here at the cleaning table, and I've started cleaning the gun, and I think I have figured out what the problem is. There is a screw right there in the frame that I have no idea what it does, because it's all one solid piece here, so I'm not sure what it holds in place, if it's something in the trigger mechanism or what. But anyway, that screw right there has backed out. It is loose. And that is what's causing the problem, because the slide has this part at the front. And what's happening when you try to pull the slide back, that part right there is hitting that screw, because the screw is not screwed all the way in. And I believe that is what's causing the problem with the gun, why it's not cycling properly, why you can't even put the slide back far enough to engage the slide stop. It's because it's hitting right here, and it won't let it go back far enough. And the screws backing out on this gun is a problem, because the exterior screws here, all of these, even the ones with the grips, I have had to tighten up more than once now since I've been shooting this gun. I've put 500 rounds through it in my test, and in 500 rounds I've had to tighten them up twice, and they've been to the point where they were about to fall out. So with this gun, you're probably gonna have to get some Loctite and tighten them down with Loctite so that they'll hold for any length of time, because otherwise you're going to be having to take an Allen wrench out with you to the range anytime you're shooting just to tighten those screws back up, and that's a problem. Anyway, I think I've isolated the problem, so I'm going to finish cleaning this gun, and then I'm going to tighten all the screws up, the one inside as well, put it back together, and see if it starts running again. All right, guys, I'm back out here on the range. I'm going to put a couple magazines through this gun just to make sure it's cycling and everything's going correctly again. And hopefully, if it does, I can resume my 1,000 round test and put another 500 or so rounds through it, and then I can report the final results. So I'm going to put a few rounds down range, as I've got the 15 round and the 12 round magazine. So 27 rounds, and we'll see if it feeds all of them and everything goes correctly. Alright, guys, she fed both magazines perfectly. Seems to be running like it's supposed to be again. Didn't shoot all that well, but I was not really trying too hard either. I was just slinging them out there, really more concerned about reliability. And seems to be working now. So on with the 1,000 round test. Alright, guys, so you saw the issue there. The screws were all coming loose under recoil, and it caused a malfunction. The screw inside of the frame had come unscrewed. It had loosened up and was preventing the slide from cycling, and obviously that's a problem. And I got everything tightened back up, but the screws just kept coming loose. I even put a little bit of Loctite on it. Didn't help. They kept coming loose, and that's all the screws on the gun. Now, the screws on the outside of the gun really weren't causing malfunctions, but I did actually lose one off the gun at one point and had to search through the grass to find it, and that's an issue. But I have went back in now and put a lot of Loctite on it, and actually bought some stronger Loctite even to put on there. And I'm going to see if that solves the issue with the screws coming loose. But unfortunately, that wasn't the only problem that I had with the gun. Another 250 rounds in, I started running into another issue. So let's take a look at that as well. Hey guys, out here on the range, and I'm still continuing with my 1,000 round review of the Keltec P15 9mm. I'm a little over 700 rounds now into the test, but I'm running into some issues now. The slide stop is popping out, and I believe I had that happen in my initial review as well, but this is about the 4th time now that this has happened in about the last 200 rounds. You can see the slide stop is out, and the gun is locked up. And in order to fix this, what I found is you have to drop the mag, and then you fiddle with it and it'll pop back in. But that's obviously an issue, as the gun has been shot more and more. It's loosened up, and I guess it's loosened up to the point now where the slide stop is coming out under recoil. The other problem I'm still having, is that the you can see here, all the screws, even the ones on the grips, have to be tightened up pretty much after every couple mags. So every time I reload, I tighten these screws up. because they're getting really, really loose, and I'm afraid I'm going to lose the screws out of it if I don't tighten them up. And I've even tried to put a little bit of Loctite on it, and that doesn't seem to work. Of course, I haven't probably given it enough time to set in either, but that'll be something I do after I get finished with the range test I'm doing today. I'll probably put some more on it, let it sit a while, and then see when I come back out and shoot it again if it's still getting loose. But that's obviously a problem, that the screws won't stay tight even for even a small length of time. And last of all, I've started to get a lot of light primer strikes. This is just in the last couple of hundred rounds as well. I've been having probably at least one or two, every couple of mags, where I have a light primer strike, and usually I can just pull it back a little bit, reset the striker, fire again, and it goes off. But there's been an occasion or two where it wouldn't even go off after a second, third attempt. But in those situations, I've took it out and put it into another gun, and it fired immediately. So the ammo's not bad. It may just have hard primers, but I don't know if the striker spring has already gotten weak or what's going on with it, or if something's happened to the firing pin. That's something I'm going to have to look at. I mean, it was causing a strike on the primer, but it wasn't especially deep. But most of the time, it still sets it off. But that's obviously another issue. But we're a little over 700 rounds in now, and I'll continue with the test, and we'll let you know how it all turns out. All right, guys, still having the same trouble. I've only put another, I don't know, 25, 30 rounds through it probably since the last update. But I think I've figured out what the issue is now. It has something to do with the magazine in the last round, because it's only happening, it looks like, when there's when the last round is fed. And you could even see here when I put it in here, if I bring the slide to the rear, it'll pop out. See, right there, it just popped out. So it has something to do with the slide holdback function of the magazine and that slide stop. Very strange. I have not noticed it happening with the 12 round magazine. Only the extended 15 round magazine is doing it for some reason. Don't know what's causing it, but anyway, that's what's happening. So I'll keep shooting it, and then we'll let you know how it goes. All right, guys, problem is still happening, but I think I see what the issue is. It's this magazine. The one on the left is the 15 round. You can see how high that follower is sticking up now compared to the other one. It's not sitting where it's supposed to be, and I'm not sure how to fix it. I took it apart and looked at it, and I'm not sure why it's doing what it is. Looks like there's some wear on that follower too, and for whatever reason it's sticking up a lot higher, and I think that's what the problem is. It's getting up there and actually sort of getting in the way. Once that last round pops out, it pops up too high, and that's I think what's probably causing that slide stop, that cross pin, to pop out. Not sure how to fix that. This may be one of those situations where I end up having to call Kel-Tec and have them send me a new magazine, and well, I may just have to send the handgun back too. But anyway, that's what I found so far. I'll keep you updated. All right, so you saw that. I think it's a magazine problem. I called Keltec and talked to them about it, sent them pictures of the magazines, and they thought that was probably what it was as well, considering it was only happening with one mag and not the other, with that cross pin popping out, which is the problem I had with that Sky magazine as well. So thought maybe there was some wear on the magazine, and something had happened and that was causing that. So they agreed. They sent me a new magazine, which I have not even opened up out of the plastic yet. I'll open it up here on camera, and we'll actually try this out and see if that fixes the problem. And of course, the issue was when the magazine was empty. As long as there's rounds in the magazine, it functions perfectly. And I think it has something to do with how much higher that follower goes up after the rounds are out of it, compared to that 12 round magazine, which doesn't do that. Just looking at this through the plastic though, I think this one sticks up about as far as the other 15 rounder I've got. So I don't know if it's going to fix the problem, but we will see if it does. The other issue that I did run into around that same time period was I started getting light primer strikes that were happening every so often. And it was with the same ammunition I'd been running the entire test and had not had a single problem with it. It's Winchester white box is what I was using. Now, I'm not claiming that's the greatest ammo in the world, but I use it all the time, and I've rarely ever had any problems with it, ever. I use Federal, Blazer, you name it. I've used a lot of different ammos over the years, and rarely have they ever caused a problem. So, you know, all my other guns ran it, and so I don't know that the ammo's a problem, but I may have got a bad batch that just had some really hard primers. So we're going to try some different things here. We're going to shoot some more Winchester white box, and I've got some Norma 124 grain we'll try, and I also got some Hornady XTP hollow points I'm going to put through it, and we'll see if we keep having that problem, if it's only with the Winchester or if it's with you know, other types of ammo as well, and we'll just see how this gun does. I really don't know. I don't know what to think at this point. There is a lot of wear on the gun, but I noticed in the first video, you know, the barrel had a lot of wear on it even right off the bat when I was first started shooting it. So I don't think it's gotten a lot worse on the barrel, though there is quite a bit of wear on it. I don't know that it's significantly worse than it was as soon as I started shooting it. The rails on the frame, especially on the right-hand side right here, in the back are extremely wore. The finish is completely gone. So I'm not sure why it's wearing there more than the other areas of the slide, but it is wearing right there. I don't know that that's caused any issues or not, but you know, there's wear on the slide lock on the cross pin here as well. So I don't know if that's what's causing the problem with that as well, but anyway, we need to do a little bit of shooting here and to test it out and just to see how it's going to do now. If you would, check out the description of this video. There's a link there for the GOA, the Gun Owners of America, where you can get in on the fight on the national level as well as on the state level. Or if you live in the great state of Tennessee like I do, you can join the Tennessee Firearms Association. I've got a link there for them as well, and help us fight for our rights here in the state of Tennessee. And I appreciate it, guys. Well, let's get over here and let's try to do a little bit of shooting. All right, I'm going to load up the 10 round first and just shoot it. And just make sure it is functioning with the 10 round with no problems. I'm sorry, it's a 12 round. It's not a 10 round. It's a 12 round mag. Now I'm just going to shoot the Winchester. And we'll see if we have any light primer strikes or anything else. I have cleaned the gun since the last time I shot it, and I did clean it after the 500 rounds. So, you know, I don't know, because I did shoot 200 and something rounds from that point up to where I started getting the light primer strike. So I don't know if being dirty was a problem, but anyway, we're going to try it out here. I've got the mag loaded up. We're just going to start over here on the red plates and see if she'll cycle, see if she'll run. I was fairly accurate with this gun when I shot it the first time, and I've really enjoyed shooting it, but I may not be today. We'll see. Plates are gonna give me a hard time, if they always do. But I haven't done really hardly any shooting today, so I'm kind of cold right now. Hadn't warmed up. But it cycled all of those. Everything went perfectly. I don't think the screws have loosened up even a little bit yet, which is good because it was to the point where you could just shoot one mag and they were loose. So that's a good thing. So I guess what we got to do now is try this try this new magazine they sent me and see if it fixes that problem that I was having with the other 15 round magazine. I'm not really optimistic, but maybe there's just something with that magazine I'm not noticing that's causing the trouble, and this new one will fix that problem. Cross my fingers here and hope. And so far, no light primer strikes, so that's good too. All right, 15 round magazine, brand new one that I just got in. Let's give her a try here. We'll shoot the cowboy and the plate out 35 yards first. Where am I going? I was going high. Well, cowboy turned on me a little bit. Well, she ran, didn't she? So it's definitely, I think, something with this magazine, but I'm not sure what exactly. I mean, there's a little wear on that follower, but nothing that I can pinpoint that looks like it ought to be a problem. But apparently it is. Because I tried the old 15 rounder a minute ago and it was still doing the same thing, so I know it's not a different problem that has fixed itself. So I'm going to say this 15 rounder is working. We'll shoot one more mag of this Winchester White Box 115 grain. And I'm going to load up some of this hollow point ammo in the 12 round mag. Hornady FTX bullet. All right. Try this 15 rounder again. I didn't even go out to the one at 35 yards, did I? Said I was going to and forgot. Let's try it now. Well, it's running them all. And no light primer strikes either. Maybe it just, maybe it was just dirty and it didn't. Maybe there was some dirt that was keeping the firing pin from hitting with enough force or something. I don't know. All right, let's try these hollow points. Miss on the last round. Fed the hollow points. No problems there. Well, let's try this Norma 124 grain. I have not shot any of this ammunition yet. Not through this gun or any gun. I just bought some of this the other day. First time I've seen this stuff, I believe. It was on sale, so I picked some of it up. I don't normally use 124 grain. I usually just stick with 115, but I don't have anything against 124 grain. It's just not normally what I do. Maybe I'll lob some of these over there at the 100-yard plate and see if I can hit anything over there. I actually hit fairly well in that first video. I went back and watched it and was quite impressed with how well this gun shot, considering it is a fairly small gun. You know, it's roughly, I think, the size of a P365 XL, which, you know, is not as small as the P365, but it's still not a very big gun. So let's go over here at 100 yards We'll see if it cycles, see if I can hit anything. This is the 12 round mag, the flush fit. I heard it. And that ain't too bad. I'm gonna load up a couple more mags just to test it out some more. May mix some of this together in a mag too. Throw a bunch of different stuff at it all at once. See how it likes that. And then I think we'll be done. Didn't really want to make too long a video on this, but at the same time I wanted to be thorough. But, you know, that's usually the way it is. I don't set out to make long videos. I don't set out to talk a lot either, but it just seems to be in my nature. Anyway, just going to shoot over here again. I'm going to try them little plates again. I really want to hit those things. Let's start off with a big one first. I don't know where I'm going. Man, those are hard to hit. Try again. Whoop, there we had one. We just had a light primer strike. I don't know how many rounds we're in right now. I'm gonna say we're probably around 100 rounds in. We just had a light primer strike. Take a look at the strike. Yeah, it's not very good. It's a real, I don't know if you can see that there. I'll try to get a picture of it. It's a really weak strike on that. And normally this, self-defense ammo tends to have pretty soft primers. They want to make sure it goes off reliably, but that one sure didn't. That's what I said, there's these little problems that just make me wary of carrying the gun for self-defense, even though I like it in a lot of ways. I think I may have touched him. There we go. Yeah, I ain't gonna get that little one, but you know how I am. I got a hit on the last round of shoot. Try the cowboy here. Maybe I'll have better luck than I did with that SD9. There we go. After that SD9 video, I got to shooting it a little bit more, and I just wasn't holding high enough. I'd shot one round, it looked like it went high into the left, and so I tried to adjust, and I guess I was just holding it a little too low. That's why I was missing with that SD9 the other day. Of course, I wanted to blame the gun, threw it across the yard because I was frustrated with it, but sometimes you're just taking a wrong hold, and that's what I was doing in that case. But anyway, guys, there it is, Keltec P15, and I like it, but I don't trust it. That's the only thing I can come up with to tell you. I really like the gun in a lot of ways, but I don't trust it. There's just been too many issues, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and I'm afraid if I pulled it out and absolutely had to have it, it wouldn't be available. It wouldn't work, so. Disappointed. I was really hoping that this would be as good a review as that P17, that Keltec 22 I've got, because man, that thing impressed me to no end. That 1,000 rounds review I did of it, I didn't clean it the whole time, and it just ran like a champ. But had a few issues here with the with the P15. I think well, that one right there may have come out a little bit. I think the screws are holding fairly well now, though, with that Loctite on them. But you know, I hate to have to do that for a gun. You know, for some revolvers especially, that's not unheard of. You know, it's not unexpected, especially with some of your really magnum calibers. But, you know, this one right here is a little bit loose now. Yeah. So it's not holding even with that stronger Loctite. It's still not holding. So the recoil on this gun causes the screws to loosen up, and apparently there's nothing you can do about it. So. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you coming out. God bless you. Y'all take care of yourselves. We'll see you next time.